Next, let's talk about flow control. It's really useful to be able to control how our program executes, or decide whether some code should be executed at all. So for example, we can use if and else to decide how we're going to execute our code. In this case, if name equals Dan, then we want to put hello teacher. Else, we want to put hello name. It's a very simple case of conditional logic. So conditions are rules to determine an outcome. We can use equality to decide if two variables or literals are equivalent in order to perform a condition. So in the previous example, we used the equals sign. This would return a special value called true or false, depending on whether A is equal to B or not. So you can see here in the example, if A is equal to value and B is also equal to value, A equals B will be true, and A equals something else will be false. Of course, that's not true. But be very aware that the equals sign is not the same as the equals sign. They have two quite different effects. Our A equals 1 is assigning the one literal to a variable called A. A equals 1 is deciding whether or not A, or the value stored within A, is equivalent to the literal 1. We can also decide if two variables or literals are not equivalent. This is the inverse of the equals operator. So for example, if we have a variable called title and it's assigned the value Lord, we can say title not equal to king, and that will now be true. We can also then say title not equal to Lord. Of course, title and Lord are the same, so by saying not equal will return false. So this is the opposite of what we would get with using equals. Another way that we can compare two things in Ruby is using an inequality. So for example, greater than or less than. This is particularly useful for numbers and doesn't have much meaning when using strings. If we have a variable called temp and assign the value 60, temp less than 60 will be false. Temp less than or equal to 60, because of course it's equal to 60, will be true. Temp more than 25 will be true, because 60 is more than 25. And temp more than equal to 30 will also be true, because of course 60 is more than equal to 30.